You were doing well before the pandemic hit, and then, bam, you're struggling to stay afloat. You've laid off staff, and the only option you had was to take out a loan and then another loan, and fast forward to several months later, and you're still in debt. I'm Kalila Reynolds, and it's time for another episode of Money Moves JA, brought to you in partnership with Exim Bank's Business Advisory Service, giving you the tools to grow your business. Joining me now to discuss her experience with debt, we have CEO of Chocolate Dreams, Michelle Smith. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Kalila.
I have to say, I'm a fan of Chocolate Dreams. I'm a big chocolatey, like foodie. I'm a big chocolate lover, so I do like Chocolate Dreams. And you guys have been around for 17 years. That's amazing.
Time. Chocolate is a staple in most people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big industry, $1 billion, $1 trillion industry. I know anything. And I haven't checked the stats recently, but even throughout COVID, chocolate has been really big business. Held its own.
So I've been following your story. I like to hear about local entrepreneurs and the challenges they face and the successes that you face. And I know that the past, especially 2 years or so, have been particularly tough for Chocolate Dreams. So tell me what happened.
Okay, so what happened to Chocolate Dreams was we live in a society that financing, which is what always is the backbreaker for most entrepreneurs, is very difficult to get. Difficult for women particularly, I have found. Banks, financial institutions like the prettiness of a female entrepreneur. It's good on their sheet and but behind the face, there's hardly anything. They're not really, we live in a male-centric society, I'm convinced. And so the pools of financing that was available to me were not great because most people prefer to finance techs. They don't want to finance chocolate. How? I can't understand, because in the world today we live in, comfort food is huge. Chocolate, huge. There's no house. There's no house you can go into that there's not chocolate. Chocolate cake, chocolate cookies.
Chocolate
children
is my weakness.
It's
really
a lot
is.
of people. So why wouldn't we, who have cocoa as our base, be doing that? And so I always question that.
So those struggles in getting financing, was that when you were just starting, or you find that is still the case?
The entire,
even after 17 years?
Even after 17 years. Can you imagine that I think about it all the time? I've had a business for 17 years, and yet I still have a struggle. But then when I talk to my other entrepreneur friends, like Mrs. Hilton at Carita, she's 80? And she still has her struggles with financing. So it's not just me. It's all around. And so I think that's an area we need to look at very seriously, because the viability of my business. I mean, we're 2 years into COVID, and I'm still holding on. There are a lot of people that have folded, bigger than me. I'm still going. So my business is viable. The viability of it is unquestionable.
So tell me how COVID affected your business.
Okay, so prior to COVID, we had 5 hotels, and we provided the turn-down chocolates for them, for their rooms. So we had those 5 hotels. Once they closed, that took away about 60% of our business immediately.
Wow.
So what I did in that period was very turbulent, very, very turbulent. I had to call on very, very, very good friends for advice, including my daughter. And we kind of set the path for Chocolate Dreams for last year. And we pretty much got through the year very gingerly. So what I did was Devon House had closed. The factory at Roosevelt did not have, we opened Devon House because we didn't have the walk foot traffic at Roosevelt. So we needed somewhere that we were visible. So we found a place on East Kings House Road, and I decided, my advisors, I had a core group of advisors, and they decided along with me that we would move into this small location and put the factory and retail together.
Okay.
And it worked. It's on a main road.
It is. It's
visible.
right near to La Soucia, heading into Barbican Square.
It's perfect. It's the perfect location. And I had gone into an institution to tell them about my move and try to seek some debt financing because, of course, you know, we would have been very behind in our payables. And the response was so alarming. The first one of the responses was, well, you know, we have an all-male risk team. And I was like...
They told you that up front?
Up front. I was like, okay, so your proposal just has to impress an all-male team. And the second response that I got was, there's a new bakery opening up at Manor Park. How do you see yourself competing with them? And I was like, you know, Chocolate Dreams brand is really big, Kalila. My brand is actually bigger than my business. I've spent 17 years working the brand, and the brand has built itself. So I wasn't worried about Manor Park. I was focused on survival.
Right.
That's what I needed to do, and I did it. I went online. I'm my social media manager. I do all social media. I interact with all clients. Sometimes 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, they'll WhatsApp me.
Wow. From
overseas. They want to send their folks stuff here. They're happy with us. They're happy with me. I have a tighter staff. It's only 7 of us, including me. So we're running a very tight ship and a very efficient ship as far as we can. And we've done well with it. And I'm happy that we are where we are. We're not anywhere near where I want to be, but I would say we're floating along and we're surviving, which
Do you
is
export?
Great. So the export factor for me is more people overseas trying to talk to us about sending their family stuff here. But in the same breath, what I'm doing is I'm trying to put some of my products on Amazon. Just actually to start.
Great idea.
So I actually sent something as a sample away to test the market and see how it would go. So I'm in the process of doing that. And I've also, 2 hotels have called me back in a very small way because, you know, there'll be ginger in their opening. So it's small, but small steps is better than big steps. And I am really grateful for where I am. I want to look at the export market really hard in 2022. That's my goal, is to look export more than, you know, I think we're okay in the local market because I have customers who have been with me for 17 years and stay with me. And there has to be a reason. Our quality has not fallen. I listen to my customers. If they have an issue, I try to deal with it as best I can. And I'm always present. So I think that's a good thing. So I think Chocolate Dreams will survive COVID. I always thought so. I think I did an interview on NNN before, in the early days of COVID, and I said I was always thinking post-COVID. I still am. I'm hopeful that we're going to be in a better place next year.
We're all hoping that, because last year we were saying the same thing about 2021.
Yeah, I don't like the curfew. I think that curtails my business a lot, because Sunday is a big day for me with comfort food.
Right.
So right. I'm curtailed by that.
So would you say that the majority of your pivot strategy is in going online?
Definitely online. Definitely big social media presence is very working for me a lot, and I'm glad for that. I'm happy because it's easy. I'm a social media freak. I Twitter, Instagram, Facebook for both my personal and business.
Wow.
You know, so
So
I
when we
keep-
tweet at Chocolate Dreams, is you answer
It's me.
personally? That's pretty cool to know.
Because
So,
I don't think when you hire social media people, they don't appreciate as much
yeah.
what you physically need. So that's how I got there.
So how have you managed to keep Chocolate Dreams afloat?
But I created a document in my business which tells me my income and my outcome. So my income and my payables, my staff, my utilities, everything is logged on a spreadsheet. So I all the time know exactly where I am in the month and where I need to be. And I follow it exactly. So we also, our times are 10 to 6. So we limit the time that we have for production and limit and you know, try to encourage our sales. But we've been able to do it by, I don't know, I don't even want to say it to you, but it's true, it's divine intervention. my income has been stable in the business. For the last 8 months, we have been okay. The only time we had a problem was when we went on the 4-day a week. That literally chopped us, okay? But prior to that, we were going along very well.
So
I just
through your own
monitored
cash flow?
through our own cash flow,
And
no
it's
outside
primarily
help.
retail since you didn't
Retail.
have the hotels.
Retail. So that told me a lot. That it taught me a lot, and it told me a lot. It told me a lot about how to operate, how not to, you know, what I can do and what I can't do. You know, what buying stock, you know, buying big stock or buying small stock as you need it, which is what I do. I don't have a big stock room or anything like that anymore. So I buy it as I need it, and it works. It works really well. Plus, we in the chocolate business, there's so many lines of chocolate you can do. But what we have capitalized on is our bakery side. It's honestly, that's our biggest side now, making custom things for people. And we have a white chocolate cheesecake that we've been doing for 17 years.
I've seen that on your Instagram page. Oh my gosh, it looks delicious.
That cheesecake has never faltered. It's in Spanish Court, it's in Scoops,
Bestseller.
Sovereign. So we don't compromise on our quality either. Our recipe is the same, our quality is the same, and my staff has been absolutely tremendous. I kudos to them because they're working under stressful times
Right.
too, and we have our hard times. Nothing in life is perfect, but what we have is that I can get mad and quarrel, or I can go in my car and drive around the block 3 times till I calm down, because I tend to get anxious when my customers are, you know, if time is they're delayed. But my staff has been really, really very, very excellent. I couldn't have done it without them. No way.
So would you ever consider listing Chocolate Dreams on the stock exchange?
Kalila, I would love to.
But
I would love to. I don't know how. Everybody says it's easy. I mean, I think, what's the lady at Stock Exchange again?
Marlene Street Forest?
She will tell every time she goes to somewhere that she's speaking and I'm sitting in the audience, she mentions it. Because she's been expecting me to list for years. It's just that it looks so it just looks monumental to me. It's just, you know, I need somebody to come to me and say, Michelle, let me list you, and they do the work.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody call you after this.
I would just do it in a heartbeat. Yes, I would list in a heartbeat. I think it's the way to go, you know. I think that should be every entrepreneur's channel out, is to list. That's a great way. And I think a lot of people like Chocolate Dreams. You know, I have customers, I tell you, for so long. They would buy into Chocolate Dreams in a flash, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Well, I wish you all the best with the business, Michelle.
Thank
Continued
you.
growth, and once this pandemic is over, you get back the hotel business. The next thing is you do your IPO, and I'm talking to you again in a different capacity.
Yes, bigger, better. I love that. Thank
right.
you so much for having me.
Anytime.
Here's a recap of some of Michelle's key points.
To assist with balancing your finances during a difficult time, try the following. Create a spreadsheet to monitor your income and expenses. Use social media to encourage your sales. Replenish your stock only as you need it. And finally, capitalize on the side of your business that's bringing in the most income. And that's it for this episode of Money Moves JA, brought to you in partnership with Exim Bank's Business Advisory Service, giving you the tools to grow your business. If you're interested in a loan product for your own business, visit eximbankja.com or drop me a DM. Also visit my website, KalilaReynolds.com, for a summary of this episode. You can click the link in the description box below. I'm Kalila Reynolds. Until next time.